the new 2018 Nissan LEAF has impressed a good number of people enough that they have pre-ordered the electric vehicle, EV. So far, 13,000 people have reportedly given Nissan their vote of confidence in advance of actual availability. The new 2018 Nissan LEAF would be good and would receive a warm welcome. Our initial test drive pleasantly surprised us, albeit too briefly, at the Los Angeles Auto Show this past November. Therefore, we were not surprised to see Nissan's new announcement that it has received 13,000 pre-orders so far. What's particularly surprising with that quite high number is that the 2018 LEAF is a sort of stopgap EV in Nissan's lineup. We have heard that next year the company will release an updated LEAF with a range climbing from 150 miles to 225 miles. Add to this Tesla's Model 3 for a little more in terms of dollar and range in the Chevy Bolt, and the mix becomes interesting, and quite challenging for a 150-mile LEAF. Competition in the EV category is climbing, and the new 2018 Nissan LEAF is certainly a great car for most people, but it was indeed unclear how the car's demand would shape up in the midst of the big transition. We hope Nissan will see the sales numbers it deserves to have with this car, and the pre-order total is a good sign in that direction. Most EVs today have broken the 100 magical mile barrier. Stragglers are left to innovate without reminding drivers of the range limitations. The e-Golf is the closest competition to the new 2018 Nissan LEAF. The cars are different in their characters, though. One thing we hope is that Nissan finds better local companies to show the new LEAF to its current customers. Friends on our street wanted the new 2018 LEAF, but after a few no-shows from the local representative, decided to go with the VW e-Golf. The 2016 LEAF had a similar problem. We look forward to a near-future extended test drive of the new 2018 Nissan LEAF.
The 2018 Subaru Outback is AutoWeb's buyer's choice for best wagon. They miss one important fact about the recreation proposed vehicle. The 2018 Subaru Outback scores the Best Wagon Award in the second annual AutoWeb Buyer's Choice Awards. It's an award that doesn't express AutoWeb's opinion, but it's based on the opinion of the 120 million consumers who visited AutoWeb's network of automotive websites. Outback wins for the second year in a row, but they miss one important fact about the recreation proposed vehicle. Even though Outback is more of a crossover SUV vehicle, the 2018 Subaru Outback wins in the Best Wagon category. AutoWeb says, Outback hits the sweet spot for those who demand utility from their vehicle but still value a drive experience that feels connected to the road. AutoWeb praised Outback for its high-end features, improved connectivity, freshened styling, improved ride quality, smooth, quiet 6-cylinder power, 4-cylinder fuel economy, spacious interior, sterling safety record, all-wheel drive, and its multi-purpose utility. But they never mention an important off-road feature that sets the wagon apart from all other wagons, crossovers and SUVs. Since the 2015 model year, Outback comes standard with a feature called X Mode. It can be engaged by simply flipping a switch on the console. How does it work? In a nutshell, X Mode works in addition to the symmetrical all-wheel drive system to give you even greater traction and control. Subaru X Mode is a software program engineered to get the Outback up and down extreme terrain. The system uses lower gear ratios to generate extra power at the wheels that have grip, directs power to slipping wheels, intervenes earlier during wheel slippage, and employs hill descent controls so you don't need to apply brakes and risk locking them up when headed down steep slopes. Subaru sells more Outbacks than any other vehicle in 3 states, Colorado, Oregon and Washington. This is where you'll find Outback owners taking the vehicle into the high country for weekend excursions to get away from civilization. X mode is the one feature missed by AutoWeb that allows consumers with adventurous lifestyles to go deep into the backcountry. Subaru of America knows that around 30% of Outback owners will take their vehicle off pavement, and it's why the 2018 Outback is the only model in their lineup that comes standard with the Extreme feature.
Tesla is bringing its newest production vehicle to its showrooms in some East Coast locations for the first time, so that potential, and many actual, customers will be able to check it out in person. The carmaker will have Model 3 demo units on display at showrooms in New York, Boston and Miami starting this week, CNBC reports. The Model 3 will be on display in Manhattan's Meatpacking District showroom and the Tesla location on Boston's Boylston Street, per CNBC, as well as in its Miami customer facility. The car, which starts at $35,000 without incentives, is also at Tesla's LA and Palo Alto galleries, but it's still not shipping at the rates that Tesla was hoping it would by this time. The carmaker's most recent shipment numbers show that it had made under 3,000 vehicles in total as of January 1, way behind its anticipated 5,000 per week target. It's been improving the speed at which it can make the cars, however, and claims to expect to be able to churn out 2,500 per week by the end of the first quarter of 2018. If Tesla can spare a car or two to put in showrooms around the country, that's a good sign that it's catching up on its production queue. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has said previously a few times that the company was essentially anti-advertising the car in the past, simply because it had so many pre-orders in the books already and no clear path to general inventory availability for buyers not in the queue.
The Nissan LEAF is far and away the best-selling electric car in the UK, making up more than 40% of pure EV sales in 2017. Now there's a new one, and it represents a complete overhaul, with new styling, more range and some clever new technology. We headed to the international launch in Tenerife to get behind the wheel and see if the second-generation LEAF can continue its predecessor's sales dominance. Traditionally, price has been a stumbling block to EV uptake. With new technology requiring heavy investment from car makers, costs were recouped in the price of the car. However, that's starting to change, because the entry-level Visia model is £1,500 cheaper than its predecessor at £21,990, while the top-spec Tecna trim starts at £27,490. Couple that with the fact that running costs are much lower than in conventionally powdered vehicles, Nissan reckons about 85% less, and the financial side becomes very appealing. Entry-level LEAFs lack the premium feel of the higher trims but still have some appealing kit on board. Standard equipment includes cruise control, LED rear lights and daytime running lights, and a 7-inch infotainment screen. Take a step up to Ascenta to get a leather steering wheel, adaptive cruise control and Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, while in-connector models get 17-inch alloy wheels, privacy glass and a part leather interior. All of the interesting kit is on the fully loaded Tecna trim, with full LED headlights, a heated leather steering wheel and seats, and a decent 7-speaker Bose audio system. It's also here that you'll find Nissan's clever ProPilot semi-autonomous driving assistance features. Those who have driven the old LEAF will notice similarities in the new model, but there's been a massive improvement in material quality, design and ambience. The leather steering wheel is comfortable to hold and the 7-inch touchscreen is easy to use, even if the graphics are totally outdated. On the top-spec model we tested, dashboard materials look high quality but feel hard and cheap to the touch, though the leather upholstery does make up for that somewhat. Otherwise, the only real complaint is visibility, as the pillars in all four corners are quite thick, which isn't ideal in a city car. Electric cars are generally fun to drive around town because electric motors offer high torque from a standstill and therefore acceleration is punchy, and the Leaf is no different. It's also quiet even at motorway speeds, with impressive levels of refinement not typical to the Japanese car maker's range. The new e-pedal mode ramps up the regenerative braking to replenish the battery whenever you take your foot off the throttle. Nissan has tuned it so that once you get the hang of it, you can drive most of your journey with one pedal, braking for corners by simply lifting off the throttle. It works well and noticeably improves range. Meanwhile, the ProPilot semi-autonomous technology works well. Out on the motorway it will keep up with traffic and even guide you in your line, while a park mode lets you take your feet off the pedal so the car can park itself. And it's no gimmick, because we tried it and it works. The official NEDC figure is 235 miles, but anyone who's driven an EV will know that these figures are notoriously unrealistic. Instead, Nissan prefers to tout the 177-mile range it achieved on the new WLTP combined cycle, which should be more realistic. Our test route involved driving up and down a mountain, so it was impossible to gauge how realistic that is. But with the aid of the e-pedal regenerating lost energy, it's entirely plausible. That means the average motorist would only have to recharge their vehicle once a week. Nissan has already taken 12,000 orders in the 3 months since the new Leaf was revealed, with more than half of those from people who've previously owned a Leaf. You can order one now, but if you want to see it in the metal first, dealers will start to receive them at the end of the month. The Leaf officially launches on February 2nd, with the first deliveries to start shortly after.